All right, we are live. Welcome. The Sacramento Kings win 136 to 111. We gonna light the beam tonight. It's gonna be a rainy, windy night, but the Kings lit the beam. Fans are going crazy outside the Golden One Center, and they held them under 115 points. Don't let the final score 111 trick you, because it was really under 100 points. The Kings had a tough stretch there in the third quarter, which we'll get to. And then they had a tough stretch in the first half where it wasn't consistent all the way through the way you would have liked it. But beggars can't be choosers, as I always like to say. The Kings got the dub, and they got the dub in a convincing way. Let's not kid ourselves. They blew them out. The Magic had a little bit of momentum coming into this game. Banchero, arguably the Rookie of the Year in my opinion. He was Rookie of the Year to begin the season. I said that. I'm on record saying that. The kid is pretty damn good. For his age, to see the game, to have that type of feel, you know, it's super impressive. He finished with 17 points tonight, 5 of 8 from the free throw line, 2 of 7 from beyond the arc. But it wasn't enough because the Kings were just better. Wagner, who I think very highly of, 16 points tonight. He is solid. Markelle Fultz, 28 minutes, 16 points. Wendell, who I like a lot as well, 15 points. Nobody really popped for the Magic. Again, 111 points, but they really had under 100 points. The Kings blew them out. Player of the game, without question, was Harrison Barnes. 30 points tonight, plus 17, 11 to 13. Damn near went perfect from the field today. 6 of 7 from beyond the arc. 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Just a great game. We all know when Harrison Barnes plays well, the Kings have a great chance to win. I'm a broken record. I say this every single game. The guy was hooping tonight against inferior competition, but he was hooping tonight nonetheless, right? But don't expect that again next game, because we know he's not going to get back-to-back 30s, 30-piece McChicken nuggets. Like, we know he's not going to get that. That's just what Harrison Barnes does. He might get you 18, which would be really good either way. But he's not that type of player where he's going to get you 30. Everybody else had good games, but they didn't really need a crazy game from Sabonis. They didn't really need a crazy game from De'Aaron Fox. They got the job done. Fox only had 11 points tonight. Sabonis only had 12 points tonight. They're 3 games above 500. They're the number 5 seed in the Western Conference. They're trying to improve this week against inferior competition. They got to win this game. Some people thought, oh, it's too early to say this is a must-win. Too early. Too early against the Orlando Magic and the Houston Rockets twice. It's too early to say it's a must-win. What are you smoking? Of course it's not too early. It was a must-win, make no mistake about it, and the Kings got the job done. Period. They got the job done. Make sure you like the video, share it. Let's get the likes up, y'all. Come on. The Kings got the job done tonight. That's what matters. That's what matters. Keegan Murray, he had to have this game circled in the calendar. He knows Banchero is the number 1 player in this draft class. 15 points, 5 of 6 from beyond the arc, 5 of 7 from the field. Almost a perfect game. Last game against the Lakers, he played 30 minutes and he had 0 rebounds. Coach Mike Brown made sure to point that out, right? He did that. And he wasn't too happy about it. Tonight, he finished with 3 rebounds. Last time I checked, 3 rebounds is better than 0. So that's that, right? A lot of fans are happy for Delhi, who guaranteed the contract, right? 3 points, yada, yada, yada. We saw PJ Dozier get signed on a 10-day. In the limited minutes that he played, 5 total. You really can't make much, but what I did see, not even from a basketball perspective, just how he runs and how he moves, I didn't really like the way he moved. I thought the way he runs still looks like he's a dude that tore his ACL. Was it the ACL or the MCL? One of those two. His knee. He didn't look as explosive just in the limited minutes that I saw him tonight, the way he was during the bubble, right? Where, according to Mark Jones, they were going to give him an extension. They were going to give him a guaranteed contract that was going to pay him the big bucks. He was playing, I'm not going to say great. I mean, he was playing well. He has that length, that defensive versatility. There's nothing wrong with taking a flyer on a guy like him. I don't see anything wrong with it. I know a lot of people are upset. Oh, they want a rim protector. And I've said this 1,000 times. I'm going to say it again. It's tough to have a legit big man playing with Sabonis in this type of an offense. When you play the split cut action, the way the Kings do, where they run a lot of DHOs and a lot of movement on the weak side, where there's a lot of screening and a lot of cutting, it's not traditional or typical for a big to be doing that. So if you put a second big or a natural big next to him, that's occupying the space that he uses to be effective. So it's rather challenging to put a guy like that with Sabonis. So if you get a big, quote unquote, a traditional big, you got to think about he's going to be the backup, and you're not going to see much of those two guys playing together. That's just the reality of this entire situation, man. As there's a lot of Kings fans who are confused by this notion that if they get a legit big to put next to him and slide him to the 4, you know how many times I've heard that, and how many times they've asked me, and how many times I've had to text, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's just not. I would like for it to work. Like me personally, it's not me telling you I wouldn't do it. I know what Mike's going to do. He's not going to want to run a traditional big with Sabonis. He's just not. He just isn't. What's up, Tanvir? My guy, Justin. What's up, brother? Light the beam. Show the beam getting lit. Uh-oh. We got to show the beam getting lit. Let's show the beam getting lit, man. Here we go. Let's show the beam getting lit outside Golden 1 Center. Okay. Yes. Yes, sir. 136 to 111. The Sacramento Kings improved to 21-18. We're gonna talk trades. We're gonna listen to some of the things that some of these guys have to say. We appreciate Medici Sacramento across the Golden 1 Center. A great spot to go before every Kings game, to go right after every Kings game. It truly is a great spot to get yourself a nice drink and some really good food. A1 food. Because the quality of that food is just different. So shout out to Medici Sacramento, right across the Golden 1 Center. Also a huge shout out to our new sponsors, Taqueria La Perla Tapatía and Taqueria La Nueva Vallarta, sisters locations, one in Roseville and one in Sacramento off Marconi. As you guys can see, they have everything. And obviously, I'm Mexican. I'm very picky with Mexican food and Mexican restaurants. They definitely pass that check. Like, they are a taqueria that provides everything from molcajetes to special soups to breakfast to menudos on the weekends. Like Taqueria La Perla Tapatía and Taqueria La Nueva Vallarta in Roseville. Man, I truly recommend these restaurants. Great ownership, family owned and operated. I mean, they are legit. So shout out to them for becoming a new member of the CK family. The Sacramento Kings again won 136-111 tonight. The return of Shemezi Metu, right? 11 points. He was 5 of 8. He was rolling the shoulders like, damn, I feel good. Right? 1-1 from the free throw line. He had 9 rebounds, 11, damn near double off the bench. Shemezi Metu had a very good game against a team that's very long and athletic. Right? A team that had no Bobo tonight, but that's a big team. They play a lot of big dudes on that team. So good job for Shemezi Metu for having almost a double tonight. Davion Mitchell always making defensive plays, right? Finished with 5 points. I thought he was solid, just overall 16 minutes. And the return of Malik Monk to the lineup. 26 minutes, 14 points, plus 16, 6 assists, 7 rebounds. He filled up the box score. He truly did. That's Malik Monk. That's what I like to see. That's what the Kings need every single night. Because their bigs are predicated on what those guards do, right? It truly comes down to what Malik Monk will do for you on a night-to-night basis. He was spectacular tonight. Again, 7 rebounds. That's going to get the job done. That means the guy was putting an emphasis on crashing the boards. That's very important. Coming from your 2 guard, really your point guard in that second unit. Your best playmaker in that second unit. That's Malik Monk for you. You need this. Even if he doesn't have it going offensively, you need Malik Monk to attack the basket. You need Malik Monk to crash the boards and not fall asleep on defense. Well, that's going to happen every game, but you need him to crash the boards. We'll see who talks today. I'm not sure. I'm not at the game. Whoever is suffering of all these floods, we're praying for you guys. It's been tough here in California. If you live in the Stockton area, right, any of the outskirts like the Thornton, like the like all the outskirts, right, where there's a lot of field, those areas have been truly affected, and it's super unfortunate. Thankfully, we haven't lost electricity, but outside of my circle, like a couple feet that way, a lot of people have lost their electricity, man. And I'm super scared because I have 2 fish tanks, a big reef tank and a medium-sized reef tank here inside the office. And I can't afford for the electricity to go out because I don't have a generator, for one. And 2, I need motion in the fish tank, and I need that heater to stay at 78, because if the temperature fluctuates, if anyone who knows the hobby, fishes will get stressed, which if they get stressed, it's going to cause a lot of other things like ick potentially, because I didn't quarantine my fish. So that's a huge possibility, right? There's other diseases that can pop up from stress. So anytime there's a little bit of instability, the fish get stressed out, and we cannot have that because there's thousands of dollars invested into that fish tank. So it would be detrimental if we lost electricity in this house. I hope not. So, but I'm also very aware of all the people that have lost it and how tough it's been for them. So prayers out to them and the people that are gonna. Again, last game it was so scary on the freeway. Like all the cars were swerving and the wind was pushing us. It was insane. That was a wild sequence. I have never experienced that. I can't even imagine driving like in a tornado or anything like in Texas, or in the South. That'll be that would be tough. Just winds at 70 miles an hour is crazy enough. I can't imagine, what those other states have to go through. But the floods have been no joke. So y'all be careful as you head back home. I hope you guys get there safely. Kevin Huerter tonight, 14 points, 5 of 12 from the field, 4 of 8 from from beyond the arc, 4 assists. He was solid, right? You like that from him. You like that he shot 50% and that the team shot 50% from three-point land, right? 23 out of 46. That's going to get the job done. They shot a lot of threes and they made a lot of threes in comparison to what the Magic did today, which was 14 of 44 from beyond the arc, which is at 31.8%. That's your ball game. And then both teams shot 75% from the free throw line, but you can't shoot 31, almost 32%, and win a game if you're gonna allow 136 points. That's not gonna happen. How do we know? Well, the Kings felt that firsthand on Saturday. I think the Lakers scored 136 points to win. That's funny. I think they did. So yeah, you could not allow that. And they did a much better job today. So that was good, right? Richaun Holmes, going back to the bench, only played 2 minutes. That was in garbage time when the game was out of reach. So we didn't get to see him because Metu, it seems like Mike's just going to rotate guys until he finds what he wants, which he's given. He hasn't really given Alex Lynn a chance, but he's given Metu, he's given Richaun, he's given Keita a little bit of a chance there. But as I've said before, it's going to be so tough for whoever that backup 5 is because you're only going to play 6 to 15 minutes, if that, probably more so 6 to 11 minutes. What are you going to do in those 11 minutes? How realistic is it to find that consistency from that position? It's tough, man. You're asking a lot from a position that's going to be predicated on your guard play. So if Malik Monk doesn't have 14, 6, and 7, what's your center? What's your backup center? The guy that's going to play with him and set him those screens going to have, right? So realistically, it's going to be hard for anyone who comes into the scene, whether it be via trade, via 10-day contract, to really maximize that position, because playing a limited role like that, it makes things very, very difficult for you. Just as a basketball player, like, it's just so hard. It's so hard, man. And that's why I haven't been so hard on Richaun, because we know he's out of rhythm. We know he's out of sync. And then you expect all these things in this type of limited role where you're constantly turning your head like, damn, I made one mistake, I'm going to the bench, right? Like, you can't play like that. You really can't. Nobody can. It's not just Richaun. Like, same goes for Metu. Like, if he makes a mistake, I'm going to come out of the game. Like, you can't play like that, man. It's tough to play that way. Like, it really is. Right? Are we playing Keegan too much as a stretch to the point where he isn't crashing for any of those intermediate or second chance rebounds? I haven't really watched that closely, to why. I thought about doing that. I didn't get a chance this weekend to figure out why he had 0 rebounds last game, even though I will say that he was pretty solid defensively. He was taking charges. He was in position for that. But it is interesting to see why he only had 0 rebounds and why he only had 3 rebounds today. Was he boxing out to allow other guys to get rebounds? I didn't pay close attention like that to really make that, to make a take like that. Oh, he's just a bad rebounder. Like, I don't think he is. I think he was a good rebounder in college for the most part, in terms of what his usage rate was offensively, what his role was, right, as a go-to guy on his team. I don't deem him as this awful rebounder. I really don't. Just meaning that 0 3 rebounds is not going to get it done, right? He just needs more strength. He's in good position, but he gets pushed around. He'll get there eventually. Easily, you can see him getting 6 to 8 rebounds by year 3. Yeah, so if you're seeing him out of position, or if he's just getting pushed around, which I've seen him get pushed around. Yeah, he's bound to get stronger, right? And if he's holding, or again, is he not going after that 50-50 ball? If he's boxing out and the ball's there, does someone else grab the ball? Like, all those things matter. For example, I think Rashawn had 5 boards last game, or the game before, but he did a good job in boxing out certain guys to where his teammates would grab the rebounds. And nobody ever wants to talk about that, right? I'm literally like, when I just focus on somebody, I'm gonna look at that player and be like, okay, let me see what he's really doing, right? Because it's not easy to watch guys off ball when they don't have the ball in their hands. See, I'm watching and I'm like, he's doing his job. He's boxing out. And if he's guarding a big dude, he's doing his job, right? And someone else is taking advantage and grabbing those rebounders. So I haven't watched Keegan like that. Like, I haven't watched him. So we'll see what happens, though, in terms of Rashawn and that position of need. Again, my biggest concern is, just like Mike's, versatility on the perimeter. What are the Kings going to do? Are they going to address it? They probably won't get a guy like OG. It's going to be hard to really put an offer out there that's of any substance, because the Kings are stuck until 2028 as of today. And it's all contingent on the Kevin Huerter trade, right? Again, as I said last show, how hard or how difficult is it for Monty McNair to call Atlanta's GM and unprotect that pick, or just define what that pick's going to be? Because as of right now, you're in flux and you can't offer a 23 pick if you try to get a guy like Jared Vanderbilt, right? Or maybe you just do go after a guy like Matisse Thybulle. I don't know why I say Thybulle all the time. But maybe you go out and get a guy like that. What's his worth? Obviously, he's not playing that much, so I can't imagine the 76ers asking an arm and a leg for him like the Raptors would for a guy like OG, who is on arguably the best contract in the NBA on a very friendly deal, right? So you got all these variables in terms of trying to improve the roster right now. I don't know what the Kings are going to do. The Kings they're in a tight pickle, man. It's going to be difficult to really drastically improve the roster. Can they make smaller deals, like maybe a swap for a Nerlens Noel for a Rashawn Holmes? Maybe you got to protect a second. I don't know if you do that. Maybe not. We got Volt in the background barking. So annoying. But yeah, I don't like. Does Nerlens Noel solve your issues? We haven't even watched him play to that level to really make that judgment. Someone can say, well, what do you have to lose? It's been so bad that anything can be an improvement. And I'm like, well, again, going back to what I said 5 minutes ago, what are your real expectations for that position? Because, again, it's really contingent on your guard play. It's contingent on Malik Monk. That's just the reality of the situation. So Malik Monk is going to play well. You're hoping that he's playing well and he's assisting for that backup big, whoever the backup big is at the time. But that backup big is going to get, 6 to 15 minutes, probably somewhere in the middle, probably about 11. Is Nerlens Noel going to make a huge difference in 11 minutes? I don't know. I don't think so. At least I don't think so. Like, I wouldn't bet on it, but it's a tough proposition, man. It's tough. Like it truly is. We can talk about the video that I uploaded about where in the third quarter the Kings were struggling, right, to break that zone. To break a zone is so easy. You flash middle, you get the ball to the middle, someone cuts on whatever side he's standing, and that's how you break it. You make him collapse, and then you get a better shot if you kick it out. As opposed to in that video, they're literally just playing ring around the rosy. Like, they're swinging the ball all around the perimeter, and you're not moving the defense. Like, you're not sucking the defense in to then have to run out and break that zone. They're just sliding, going in, going out, because you're not doing anything about it. Like, sometimes I just don't get it, man. These are professional athletes. These are professional coaching staffs. Like, you have to be able. There is nothing confusing about what the Orlando Magic were doing to you. Nothing. There was nothing confusing. Maybe if it was one possession, two possessions, and it caught you off guard, which is when you go zone from man to zone, I understand that. But if you have more than one or two possessions and you still can't break it, I'm just like, bro, you got to stop, man. Like, you can't allow a 7-0 run or a 9-2 run. When you're up 20, then you bring it down to like 11, 12. That can't happen. You have to always pedal to the metal. Keep your foot on their throats. Don't give them any life. Because if that was a good team, they would have came back on you. Fortunately, that was your Orlando Magic. And fortunately, you're playing the Houston Rockets twice this week. So that's that. That's that, right? I know a lot of people love Mo Bamba. They've been talking about Mo Bamba for a long time. He's been linked to the Kings since forever. I've never been a big fan of Mo Bamba. Y'all can go back to my pre-draft analysis. I'm still not a big fan of Mo Bamba. I know a lot of people want to just try it. Nothing to lose, I guess. If you get him on the cheap, I guess there's nothing to lose. And he's a guy that can theoretically spread the floor. We can look at what he's averaging. I mean, like, let's not make up numbers, right? He had 2 points today. He played 10 minutes. He had no rebounds. He had 2 blocks, right? Which, can we please just address the elephant in the room? Blocking shots is one aspect of defense. It's not everything. So if someone averages a lot of blocks, you're like, oh, that's a good defender. Like, no. that doesn't make you a good defender. Just because you get a lot of steals doesn't make you a good defender. That means you're a guy that takes a lot of risks, and it happens that you get the steals, but how many of those risks are actually rewards? How many times do you try and get the steal and you're put out of position and the other player scores? Defense isn't just black and white. I'm going to get a lot of steals. I'm going to get a lot of blocks. There's more to it than that, man. There really is. And 32 games, 18 minutes, 50% from the field, 38.2 from beyond the arc, 68% from the free throw line, 5 boards, 8 points. And he had an off game tonight for sure. He didn't play that much. When he plays 18 minutes a night, let's log his last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. He had in both losses, right, back to back, 0 points, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 points. Oklahoma, 10 points, 2 rebounds. Against Detroit, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks. Against the Lakers, 5 points. So he struggled a lot the last 5 games, right? Nothing crazy. I'm curious on the 38%. How many attempts is he averaging? Let me see. So far this year, not bad. He's hit 34 of them. So he has attempted 89 threes this year. Interesting. And he's hit 34. That's pretty good, man. That's not bad. So he does stretch out the floor for you. There's the spacing component to that. He does provide rim protection. But you also got to note that he's not good on the perimeter. And when the team is going to pull him out, put him in the pick and roll, he's going to get destroyed, which he typically does. But in those 11 minutes, if you can hit 38% of your shots, it's not a bad thing. Especially if you get them on the low, right? Like I'm trying to compromise and see the upside of a Mo Bamba, but I also know how soft he is as a basketball player. Like I would 1,000% want Wendell, which Wendell you're not gonna get on the cheap, right? But a guy like Mo Bamba, you probably do. I'm sure there's been a lot of teams calling about him. Anytime you're above 7 feet, you're gonna get teams that are gonna call. But it's just the way it is. You give him Bobo, big dude, a lot of upside. I think he got traded to the Pistons last year, and the Magic have him now. Like these types of players will always be in demand, even if they're not very good. Again, not saying that these two in particular, but when you have that type of size, and if you can shoot 34 of 89, you're going to get a chance no matter what. That's just the name of the game, bro. Like, you're going to get that chance. All right? Mo Bamba was not good. Mo Wagner is a guy, though, but I don't know how he would fit. Mo Wagner. Mo is not that bad of a player. Like, let's look at what he does. Right, brother of Franz. Let's see what Mo does. Right here, he played 18 minutes tonight. He was 3 of 6. What's he shooting this year? He's playing 25 minutes, averaging 12 points. He's shooting 30% from beyond the arc. Yeah. He's a tough guy. He's a tough player. If he's on your team, you love him. If he's not, you don't like him. You saw Malik Monk talking that, you know what? You got a taunting foul for it, and he's a guy that is a rough rider. He's going to foul you hard, and he's going to make you feel him. I like that about Mo. Like, I've always liked that about Mo. He got into that fight with the Pistons, as we're watching right here on the little screen. He's that type of player, right? How would he fit? He'd be the backup here. But to your point, there could be some minutes, maybe with Mo Bamba, maybe. But again, Mike doesn't like to play two bigs. He doesn't. He truly doesn't. So he wants to put wings out there. Just look how the Warriors play. They got Looney, and that's it. It's hard to get a guy like Draymond Green, who's an exceptional passer, who was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate every single year, and he makes everybody on the floor better. Like, that's what Draymond Green does. Like, you don't have a Draymond Green on this team. That's why that worked. But you're not seeing them play Looney and what's their number 2 pick? And Wiseman. Like, you're not watching Wiseman and Looney play together. Like, it's not going to work. Not in this type of an offense. But yeah, Mo Wagner is interesting. He's interesting. They got a lot of centers on this team. That's funny. They do have a lot of centers on this team for sure. Mo fouls too much. I'm a big Michigan fan. That's always been his problem, but he's 110% effort guy for sure. An underrated part of Metsu's game is that he makes quick passes and reads. He kicks out really fast. 2 guys on the perimeter. Holmes doesn't do that at all because he's a strict P&R guy. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point. Obama was not good in this game. He was not. Sengun versus Sabonis is going to be fun. That's going to be a fun game, bro. That's going to be a fun game. I can't wait for that one. I'll be at that one. I'll be at that one. The Floods are supposed to stop on the 10th, so tomorrow. Game not till Wednesday. Right? Yeah. Game is Wednesday. So we should be good. We should be good. Wendell would be insanely well on his team. My question, though, is would Mike start Wendell and Sabonis? I'm just curious. My gut says no, even though I would. But would he start both of those players? I don't know if he would. Like, I really don't. Like, I really don't. Bring Tyreek back. Tyreek. Yeah. Just saw the beam for the first time person. Spiritual Brandon. That's dope. He doesn't want to play two bigs. That's why the biggest Grizzlies are the biggest thorn in the side of the Warriors. Grizzlies are insanely long. You saw how hard it was for us, for JJ and Adams on the court. Yeah. JJ presents a lot of problems. Adams presents a lot of problems. They're not going to play two bigs, though. They're just not. Grizzlies are a matchup problem for a lot of teams. But in the playoffs, what's going to be interesting to me is, are they going to run Adams off the floor? Like in the playoffs where you've scouted this team and you know everything about them, it works in the regular season. It always does. But in the playoffs, man, it's not easy to play two bigs. It truly isn't. It truly isn't. You don't see it much, if at all. Like, I'm trying to think. Were the Celtics religiously playing Time Lord and Big Al, like, together a lot? Or did they stagnate their minutes, right? Who else? Obviously, Gobert can't stay in the game in the playoffs. We know what happens there. It's not easy to play two bigs in the playoffs. Like, it really isn't. Just got here from the weed and looking at the scoreboard. This guy. What's up, Josh? What's up, brother? Sabonis is a shoo-in for the All-Star reserve. Fox is still up in the air. I agree with that. I believe Sabonis will make the All-Star team, and a lot of people are bringing up the point of the Kings having two All-Stars and no other, not many other teams having two All-Stars is a bit different, right? It's a bit different for a lot of reasons that we haven't seen in 16 years. So that's interesting. It truly is. To me, it doesn't matter. Like, if he deserves to be there, he should get the nod. And I do think we're going to have injuries and we're going to have some replacements. My only problem is which guard ahead of the guys you just named. To me, Shea, Lillard, Curry, Morant, Doncic, they're all ahead of De'Aaron Fox, right? No question about it. But is Curry going to play? Is Lillard going to play? Like, is he going to get injured? Like, we don't know that. So my only concern is Fox is Fox first in line for an injury replacement, right? Will Devin Booker play? We don't know that. So I would be upset if somebody like CJ, if somebody like who else is having like a relatively good year that's in the guards position, like somebody of CJ's level gets the nod over De'Aaron Fox when there's an injury replacement for a guard, that would make me upset. Like, if these guys here make it over him, I'm not mad at that because they deserve it over him. 100%. 100%. I'm not biased like that. But if he's not like first or second, probably, I mean, I'm trying to think, like, who else, if they're an injury reserve, deserves it over De'Aaron? I don't care if the Kings are going to get two All-Stars. Like, that don't matter to me. Is Jamal Murray one? Like, has he played enough games? I don't think he has. I mean, we can look at it and see who they played today. Let me see. Box score. Okay, 34 points. Okay. And Jamal Murray has played. Yeah, I mean, he's played 32 games, averaging 18. Yeah, I mean, no. You're playing 31, you're averaging 18. You're on the number one seed, though. So there's an argument there. I wouldn't put him ahead of Fox, though. You know what I'm saying? So these are one of the guys that are going to compete for that spot. So you go, okay, 32 games. Let me see. De'Aaron Fox. I mean, who else, right? He's played 35. Okay, so they're definitely going to compete for that spot. So does 18, 4, and 5, or does 24, 6, and 5? Number one seed against number 5 seed. Fox. Like, Fox gets the nod, bro. Stop the cap. I mean, I love Jamal Murray, but he's not what he once was. At least not yet. Who else in the West? Who else in the West is like, damn, I got to put him ahead of De'Aaron Fox if there's a replacement? I don't know. Like, I really don't. I don't know who's ahead of De'Aaron Fox for that replacement. Those guys that you named, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Lillard, Curry, Morant, Doncic, those are all ahead of Fox, 100%. But After that, Chris Paul for sure not going to be over Fox. I don't even want to make an argument for that, dude. And I love Chris Paul. There's no way in hell, though. Dame gonna get in the game, bro. Whether you think he's had a great... Simons is another guy, right? But Jeremy Grant's had a better year. So you can easily make the same argument for them. Like, they can't have two All-Stars, right? If that's your sole argument, like if the Kings and Blazers can't have two All-Stars, come on. We talk a lot about hypothetical trades, but you can have just one move, one realistic player, or a deal to put this team to a contender outside of Siakam OG. Who are you going with? I don't think any of these other deals, these smaller deals like a Vanderbilt, even though Vanderbilt will make you better, or even a McDaniels from Charlotte. I'm not even going to say Miles Bridges because I'm not touching that topic, but. If Miles Bridges hadn't got into whatever the situation that he got into, he wouldn't even be in a discussion, right? So I don't even want to touch that. There's a Gordon Hayward and a Kelly Oubre. No, the only thing that makes you a contender is a Siakam OG, and that's not happening because how are you going to absorb $17 million plus $35 million? Like, that's not going to happen. You don't have enough players for that. You don't have enough money to match because the Kings are over the cap. It's tough. It's tough, man. There's not one move like that puts you over the top right now. There just isn't. There just isn't. You have to get that within your team. Yeah, like you do, right? So it's just one of those things, man. Like, in terms of trades, the Kings are in a tough situation with the whole Kevin Huerter thing. Again, as of today, until you have some clarity on what you're going to do with that Atlanta pick, you don't have a pick until 2028. And I don't think anybody wants that if you're a trading partner. If you're the Utah Jazz, you don't want that. I'm like, I can get 2024 from Phoenix, right? 2023 is going to be a loaded draft. You might just have to sit back and be like, can I find a 3-and-D in the draft, right? You're going to get that opportunity because even if you make the playoffs, you're still going to be somewhere from from 18 to like 23, somewhere in there. Like, you can still find a good player if you're in that situation. Or on draft night, you can go out and trade that. But as of today, before the NBA trade deadline, you can't offer anything until 2028. And that's a tough pill to swallow. That's not... For me, that's an asset because you don't know what the Kings are going to be in 2028. Like, that could be extremely enticing for some teams, but what's the likelihood of the Kings unprotecting that pick in the first place? Leaving yourself for a situation like that where it's been already reported by a guy like Mark Stein that Monty's going to get an extension, right? If you're wanting McNair with the full extension, I don't think you want the unprotected 2028 for a guy like Vanderbilt. No disrespect, and I love Vanderbilt, right? You don't want to do those types of things. You might, but you might not. Because a guy like that you can get in free agency next year where Harrison comes off the books and you got roughly, let's just say, $26 million if everybody that's supposed to get off the books comes off the books. So, yeah, I don't think the Kings are going to make a big time move, man, until we have some clarity in the whole Kevin Huerter stuff. Like, we don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. Let's see if the interviews are up yet for the Sacramento Kings. Oh, here we go. They're both up. Let's take a look at what Mike Brown had to say.
You guys gotta hurry up.
Let me see. Let's take a look at what he had to say. Here we go.
And ask questions because I got to try to get to the nearest food mart or something like that. And I mean, I'm going to try to win that mega billion or whatever. I'm a 42, 42, 42, 42, 42. I'm going to put 42s across the board. That's it. I'm excited about 42 right now, so I got to go put something on that for that mega billion that's out there.
That's funny.
Any questions? Huh? Is that? Oh, yes. That's it. 42. That's all I. Usually I go on this long freaking soliloquy, you know. But
It's about 42.
Isn't Babe Ruth 42? Jackie Robinson. Okay.
Okay.
Robinson, I knew someone. Hey. All I know is points in the paint. 42. 42. Questions?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess we can start there. I mean, just with what did you see differently from your team? I mean, did you see them respond? Did you see things that you guys had worked out over the past few days?
Yeah, we did, and that was great to see. Now, and we can even be better than what we were tonight. But I tell you what, our guys, Orlando scored 78 points in the paint the first time we played them. Obviously, our last three opponents have had a field day in the paint. And watching our guys do their work early and talk and cover for one another on most possessions, it was beautiful to see. Beautiful to see.
Hey, Mike, up here. First off, pregame prediction didn't go well. Just going to give you a heads up now. Don't even it was bad, okay? It was bad.
Fair enough.
But I will ask this. Season high in assists today. Just the way you guys were distributing the ball, did you like how the offensive flow was?
Yeah, our guys, they do a fantastic job of moving the basketball. They do a fantastic job of spacing the floor. I do believe we can score and obviously score at a high level. Again, I'll go back to, we got to defend if we expect to get where we want to go, and it starts with us protecting that paint and then spraying out with multiple efforts to contest shooters and boxing out to finish the play. And so, yes, it's beautiful to watch offensively. Guys were hitting that paint and getting spray threes for one another, and the ball was moving and all that good stuff. But I'm just excited about what our guys did protecting that paint tonight, especially after watching film and drilling it and talking about it the last 3-4 days.
Like, what led to Chimezie being the first guy off the bench in terms of backup five? And can you confirm he won the Defensive Player of the Game, Shane? And how did he contribute defensively to that 42 number?
He did win it. First of all, he had 6 defensive rebounds, I think. Not only that, he went vertical twice.
Twice.
I think Suggs might have scored over him on one of them. But the reality of it is, I'm a firm believer if you go vertical at the rim, that's a tough layup to make. You may make 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10 maybe, and we'll take those odds every single day of the week. So him just being a presence in the middle of the paint, I don't even know if he had any blocks. I don't even worry about blocks, but just him going vertical at the right time, being physical without picking up a foul was fantastic.
And that's why I don't think he's going to play 2 bigs. That's how he views the game, right? Those are his principles as a coach. Stay vertical and spacing, right? Weak side action, ball movement. Like, I don't see him playing 2 traditional bigs. Sabonis is a traditional big. I don't see it. So that's why I don't think that they're going to play with like 2 bigs, bro. Whether they get somebody or not. Fans look at blocks as a measurement of, okay, you're a good defender. That's not true. and he's proven, and he talks about this all the time.
Fantastic. And then he switched out on certain guys and sat down and guarded them and didn't get blown by. He just gives us a different look than what Sabonis does, and you kind of want that as your backup. If you can have something different there that can have some success at a pretty high level, which he did tonight for us, then you roll with it. Again, I've told you guys that I've been kind of searching, and we started with Rashawn, and we went to Mezzi, and we went back to Rashawn, and I just we were. And it's not all Rashawn, but I think we were 3 and 5 in the last 8 or something like that, and we hadn't been really good on either side of the ball, especially with that second unit, and so we made some changes, and we played KZ longer. So we can be bigger or longer out on the floor, more athletic, and then we try to bring HB back with that second group too, if we could, so we felt like that it paid off tonight.
To answer this quick question from Cody, fans only vote the starters in, so the reserves will get voted in by from the coaches, and I think they've changed it to where I think it's like other players or other executives. But the point is, the most important part, whether that's right or whether that's accurate or inaccurate, the fans don't vote, never have, never will vote for the reserves. So they get their starters in, and that's it. That's it. So whether Austin Reeves is top 10, Looney's top 10, it doesn't matter. They're not going to get voted as starters. And if they don't get voted as starters, they don't get into this pool of votes from the coaches. Trust me, it don't work that way. So Sabonis is a lock, whether he's top 10 or not in votes. And then obviously with Fox, there's a lot of dudes that are ahead of him. But I think he should be the first as an all-star reserve, as an all-star replacement. Like, I really do. Let's keep hearing what Coach had to say.
Mike, you've talked before about how this is kind of the grind, the dog days of the season. So how valuable is it to get a win in a game where De'Aaron plays less than 29, DeMontis plays less than 32, no other starter played more than that? How valuable is that?
It's huge because those guys have been logging big minutes for us. And we put a lot on their shoulders on both sides of the floor, especially offensively. So to be able to have them play low minutes in a game like tonight, and us still get the win pretty handedly. You welcome these types of games. It also gives other guys an opportunity to step up and play some important minutes during the flow of the game or during the meat of the game instead of just at the end.
Mike, Malik played really well tonight. Just how much did he need maybe a break with all the nicks he's been having over the last week or two?
No, again, that's why I said him the last game. Malik's a guy that is fearless. As you guys know, he's going to take it in there amongst the trees, and I don't know if he ever thinks about the fact that he may be 6'2" or 6'3". He's going to kill me for saying 6'2", so 6'3", but.
That's funny. We all want that extra inch. Okay, so this is a good question. Let's stop there real fast. Is John Collins a good weak side defender? Yes, he's a good rim side protector, and we can even look at the analytics, right? Let's see. That was Jared Vanderbilt. Let's go John Collins. Okay. He's 25. Stretch 4. Let's see. Perimeter shooting, 3-point percentage, 20 percentile F. He's terrible. Pull up, no. Catch and shoot, 17 percentile F. That's not good. Corner 3, 31 percentile. That's not good. Jesus. Openness rating, again, is the value for the estimate of how open a player's three-point attempts are on average. That is a 75 percentile, so a B+. So he makes his open shots to some extent. And then his average three-point shot distance is C-. So, yeah, he doesn't really fit on paper. Let me see. At least not yet. I mean, he plays in a very ISO heavy type of offense where you just sit there and you just watch and you wait until Trae Young gets you the ball, right? It's one of those things. His one-on-one total isolations per 75 ranks as a B+, which puts him in the 76th percentile. So that's not bad, right? His finishing, he's a C- on adjusted drives per 75. His total shots at the rim, C+. Oh, not great. His unassisted rim field goal attempts per 75, C. Percentage of the rim unassisted, D+. His finishing talent is a B, so in the 72nd percentile. Rim shot making, 88, A-. So he's an okay finisher. He's not as perceived, like he's perceived to be really good, but he's not, obviously. Okay, so his screen is rolling, which is important, right? What are we at? Roman, he's a B. Team roll, A-. Post play, 91 percentile. That's good. Paint touches, 66 percentile. He's not going to get many paint touches on that team. Defensive rebounding, all A's. That's good. Offensive rebounding, C, B+, C+. Okay. Perimeter defense, D, 33rd percentile. That's bad. Who is he guarding? He is guarding the athletic finishers, slashers. Oh, shot creators. Okay. So let me see. Athletic finishers. So he's guarding the athletic finishers. So versatile bigs. Let's see, 18%. Yeah. So guys like him pretty much. His interior defense is what we need to look at. B, A-, percentage of rim shots contested. So to answer your question, here we go. Percentage of shots at the rim when the player is on the court that are contested by the defender. Rim contest per 75, A-, so puts him in the 82nd percentile. Blocks per 75, possessions, A-, 88th percentile. So again, one aspect of defense is shot blocking, right? Rim protection. You can protect the rim by being vertical, the way Sabonis does. But yes, he is solid in that regard. So yeah, I mean, weak side, it's good. So I'm actually surprised by that. But yet again, if we go to his overall game, right, his offensive rebounding is subpar, his defensive rebounding is good, but his offense has just been not good, bro. In terms of perimeter shooting, which what he kind of needs to do on this team, that's tough, right? That is tough. Matthew Holmes, what can you trade for Rashawn? And now he's at an all-time low, bro. It's going to be tough. Obviously, the price would be massive, but do you think the Jazz would be willing to move from Laurie given his fit with the timeline? I don't think they'd move him, but he'd be an amazing fit for the Kings. Him and Sabonis truly do fit together. Like, those are two guys that would fit perfectly. Boy, trying to keep him better. I would love to have DeAndre Hunter on the Kings. DeAndre Hunter is very injury prone as well, bro. He's aggressive and having a great on-ball defense. I don't think it would happen, though, because he just got an extension. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to move him. They essentially chose him over Kevin Huerter, and a lot of Hawks fans are disappointed in that because he does get hurt a lot. But, yeah, they're not going to move him. But let's finish what Mike had to say. What Mike had to say.
with his athleticism and his quickness, he can finish over a lot of people. He gets bumped and knocked on the ground quite a bit, and so just to give him a day off so he can get his legs and his body and his mind right, especially at this point in the season, I thought was the right thing. And he stepped up big for us, making plays on both ends of the floor all night.
Mike, two numbers I want to ask you about. One is the 23 three-pointers. That's a new franchise record. Just wanted to get your reaction to that. And then 54-39 points off the bench. How'd you feel about that tonight?
I thought our bench was fantastic, especially in the first half. They were good, obviously, in both halves, but they gave us a really big boost in that first half. And, just getting stops and getting out and running, touching that paint and spraying the ball from there. It was just great to see that group play the way that they did, and we got a lot of scoring that's coming off the bench. Malik is really dynamic, not just putting points on the board, but also making plays for others. And then Davion's he's doing a fantastic job of running the team, and helping us get stops so we can get out and run. But again, complete team effort. Our bench may or may not play that way every game, but we feel with the length and the athleticism and quickness there, they can give us a spark somehow, some way to make sure that the starters get enough rest.
Yeah, Coach.
Did I answer your second part? I said it before. We got a lot of shooting on this team. And, for us to get that record, I thought Malik had some great looks out on the floor that were two of the four should have dropped. And, so it could have been higher. And the way we spaced the floor, the way we touched the paint tonight, the way we shared the ball, I don't want to sound, cocky or anything like that, but it doesn't surprise me with the shooters that we have and the way our guys know how to play on the offensive end of the floor. So, anytime you can get a record, especially in this business, as long as the NBA's been around, it's a good thing. But 42 points in the paint.
Yeah, Coach, what were you seeing from Mezzi earlier this year that caused you to go away from him when you did, and how encouraging was tonight as you look to solidify that backup 5 spot?
I thought he relaxed just a little bit for a couple of games there towards the end of his first stint as the backup. He started out playing great, bringing a lot of energy. And, when I had a conversation with him, I just said, you may play big minutes, but right now you're slotted roughly for 6 to 8 minutes to give Domas for rest. So every time you step on the floor, just leave it out there. As a backup center, you're faster than everybody that you're going to play against. You're more athletic than anybody you're going to play against, and you're extremely skilled. And so, we just need you to keep the game simple, but bring your energy, your length, your athleticism, your versatility to the court. And that's all we're asking. And he was good for us for a while, and I just thought he took his foot off the pedal a little bit. And and so I went to Rashawn. But both those guys, no matter if they're playing or not playing, the thing that I like is they've both been extremely professional. And they're still coming in and getting their work. They're cheering their teammates on, all those other things. And when you do that, you have to try to reward guys as much as you can. I feel bad because the only guy that I really haven't given an opportunity yet is Alex Lynn. He hadn't gotten a true opportunity. I told him that, and maybe he will. But you talk about a pro's pro, he's right up there with the best of them, and I appreciate that, and the rest of the guys do too, because he keeps himself ready to go anytime his number's called. Thank you, guys.
Like what led?
All right.
Harrison, after a slow start to the season for you, you're now shooting almost 34% from 3 tonight, 6 of 7. You guys set a franchise record with a bunch of threes, 23. Just how good did it feel to have the ball go in? And it seemed like the hoop was pretty large out there for you guys.
Yeah, it was, I thought, offensively tonight, but really this season, as a team, we feel confident in what we can do. The biggest thing for us was walking out of here with the win, however that was. we feel like after the last game, we let ourselves down, really, and just how we competed over 48 minutes. So to come here tonight and get a win, I think that was the biggest thing for us.
HB up here.
What's the mood in there right now? Like, is there like a sense of relief that, hey, we did it, we had a blowout win, and it just everything kind of worked?
I wouldn't say relief. I think it's more so of kind of the expectation or standard that we set. We come into games, we feel like, we have a good game plan, and if we execute on that, we should be in good shape. So I think tonight we feel like we executed on that, and the result was a win. Now, how much of a win it was, right? That varies, but we felt like we did our job.
Kind of along those lines, just how much was it needed at the right time for you, especially when you've had, so many of these games kind of go down to the wire, nail biting finishes for you guys?
It was big. I think to start that second half, they kind of got a few baskets, even in the fourth there. Coach putting us back in. There's still room for growth, obviously, in terms of just putting teams away. But like I said, I think the biggest thing is we were able to finish the game.
Harrison, just wanted to get your thoughts on, playing at home and protecting home court. I know you guys have been talking about that. And this is a start. You got 2 more home games here between Wednesday and Friday.
No, the fans have been great. Been great all season, especially recently. Just how loud and energetic it's been. And, we have to reward them for that. We have to go out here, take care of the games that, we have a lead or we're playing well, and just keep stringing those things together.
HB, will you share what it's like when you're feeling it the way you did tonight? Is it a mental thing? Is it just a physical feeling of everything you touch feels good? Or what's going on mentally when you're having a night like tonight?
Yeah, it's nice. Obviously, Domas found me early for just, a few easy baskets. Guys were looking for me. That was great. I think the biggest thing I was thinking, every time I made a shot, is we're just out here just trading buckets, because I felt like they were coming back on the other end and scoring too. So, like I said, it was nice that we were finally able to get some stops and kind of really push that lead.
So, to answer this question, and I stop it here because it's relevant to some extent. Realistically, if the Kings use their cap in the offseason, their offers would be for Kuzma or Grant. So, and maybe I read that wrong, but how I grade Harrison Barnes, Kyle Kuzma, and Jeremy Grant is Jeremy Grant, Harrison Barnes, Kyle Kuzma. That may be a little bit unpopular, but I'm not a huge fan of Kyle Kuzma, especially on a contract year where he's scoring, 20-plus points a game. He's on a team that on paper is very talented, but they're just empty calorie points because they're not winning games. And if you look at Kyle Kuzma, just overall, let's see. There's a lot of not that much impact. And I don't like those types of players. One, because he's going to demand a lot of money. So I wouldn't want to spend my money and give him close to a max. Like, he's going to be 28. I don't see the fascination with Kyle Kuzma. Like, I really don't. He's subpar shooter. 52 percentile, 46, 50th, CCC. Total isolations was 1-on-1, BFC, right? He's gone better at drawing fouls. His finishing is a B plus overall, B plus. Off ball movement, D plus, D. Screen rolling, C plus. Offensive rebounding, C minus. Defensive rebounding, B plus. Perimeter defense, B plus, which is a bit surprising if I'm being honest with you, which I guess is good, right? Interior defense, C minus, B minus, C plus. At the rim for his position is actually very important. He doesn't do anything like elite. When you look at Harrison Barnes, right? C minus, D minus. So again, not great either from the perimeter, but that's what you get in the, what is he at, $17 million player? His playmaking isn't good. Perimeter, let's go perimeter defense. Perimeter defense, C plus. So Kyle's a lot better there. But is he like $4 million per year better than him? No. That's what it's going to take, especially if he comes down here. Like, we know he's not taking a discount for the Kings. Like, people got to stop that cap. Like, if you get Kyle Kuzma at 17, 18, yeah, I'm into it. But we know he's not going to want that. We know he's going to want 21 plus. And that 21 plus, whatever value he has, definitely goes down. Like, drastically goes down. It's all about maximizing your player's role optimization. Like, he's not an impactful player. He just isn't. He's a little bit better than Harrison Barnes. Like, if you look at Jeremy Grant, it's a different thing. Like, Grant impacts, at least he's impacting the Blazers this year, right? It's 28, going to be 29. Perimeter shooting, 94 percentile, 95 plus A. So one-on-one, A minus. Per 75, finishing, B minus. So not amazing, but pretty good. Off-ball movement, not amazing, but that's probably their scheme because they do a lot of ISO ball there too. His playmaking, not amazing, but subpar, right? I don't expect him to be a great playmaker on this team. On ball, a B, so not bad. Interior, C minus, so not great. Not great, but still, like, perimeter shooting. He's shooting the ball really well. And yeah, I would pay this man 22, 23, 24 mil. But I'm not paying Kyle Kuzma $21 million, $22, $23 million a year. I'm not doing it. Somebody might, but I'm not doing it. That's how I feel about this whole situation with Kyle Kuzma. Like, I'm not a Kyle Kuzma fan. Like I really am not. Agree on the contract, but he is going to be 26 by season end, and with other picks over the next 2 years, the window is when he'll be 29 to 30. No harm in keeping them already. Have Cleveland and the Wolves' future and the big man. No need to tank. Maybe when Laurie expires in 3 years, they are any good. Clarkson only has 2 years left. Come on. Kuzma, playmaking, improved. You sleep. I mean, we just looked at the analytics, bro. I don't know what to tell you. And we just looked at them. I wish Fox would facilitate more like he did tonight. Love the 9 assists. I mean, he's been... See, that's the thing, right? And that's one of the things where facilitating box score stats against facilitating just playmaking. De'Aaron Fox is a very good playmaker, right? Till this day, he has an A in his overall playmaking talent. Assisted possessions, total points from assists per 75 when he's on the court, A minus. If you look at his high value assist numbers, his high value assists per 75 on his possessions on the court, right? A. His box creation, which is super, super unique. An estimate of open shots carved out for teammates by drawing defensive attention. This is obviously calculated by Ben Taylor. A+. Again, that's how great of a playmaker De'Aaron Fox is. He's not your, I'm going to pound the ball and get my box score assists like a Rajon Rondo, but he's a very good playmaker. Again, A's all across the boards, man. Like, he's like, you can't make this up. Like, De'Aaron Fox actually, and I say actually because so many people think that he doesn't make his teammates better, but he actually does because he provides them a lot of open looks. That's just what he does. So good for De'Aaron Fox, and his perimeter defense has been really good this year. 88th percentile, A-. Yes, he has his moments where he falls asleep off ball. Kevin Huerter is worse at it, honestly. He's been really bad. Again, we saw Harrison's hasn't been great this year. I'm curious to see what Keegan's is as well. But matter of fact, let's look at Kevin Huerter's perimeter defense. Kevin Huerter. Let me see. Let's see where he's at right now. His perimeter defense. My eyes don't lie. C+, 56th percentile. I knew it. And that, like, honestly, it's funny because I haven't even looked at his perimeter numbers. I see it every night. I mean, the guy gets beat, but his off ball is even worse. Like, that's the crazy part, right? Again, steals, A-. One part of defense, he's bigger guy. He's gonna get those. He's gonna take those risks. That doesn't make you a good defender, man. Like, I don't care if one person's watching this or a billion people. If I want anything taken away from this, is like, I watch CK podcasts, and I've learned that blocking shots as an isolated skill set does not make me a good defender. Getting steals as an isolated skill set does not make me a good defender. There is more nuances to basketball than box score numbers. Like, that's what I want my audience to take away from this show, is being educated on there is a lot more than just your traditional box score numbers when depicting a basketball player. That's what I want you guys to take away from this show, because too many times, too many people don't have this information, and they'll look at a box score and be like, okay, this guy sucks, this guy is good. It's all about, fans love to look at the end result and not the process of how he got an open shot. Why was he so open? All these things matter. They truly do. You know, do guys hit open shots? So it's interesting, man. I just hope that fans start to look at the game differently. And that's why we have shows like this, to really spark conversations, to bring awareness to not just looking at box score numbers. That's what I want for you guys. Let me see what is perimeter shooting, all A's and B's across the board. Although his corner 3-point percentage is really taking a hit, and Kevin Huerter's, it's at a D+ right now. But, you know, it is what it is, man. But other than that, though, I feel like we've been on here for, an hour and 22 minutes. It's been a long time. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys got some value out of it. We talked some good basketball today. Make sure you guys hit the like. It really helps out a lot. Appreciate all the sponsors as well for supporting the Cabo Kingdom platforms. Heard there was a blow by a guy like Barnes. Kings goading, dropping 130 easy when the offense are good. You don't even need defense. We are House Sun Kings. Well, that's going to do it, y'all. I appreciate you guys. It was a good show. That's funny. We are House Sun Kings. Okay. Well, make sure you guys like the video. Drop a comment right after the show ends to show the love and support, man. Other than that, y'all, thank you guys. Appreciate you, Josh, as always. God bless you guys. Be safe out there. Stay home. Be cozy if you can. Love your significant others. Love your kids. Love your mom and dad. Everybody, man. God's good. God's great. See you guys in the next one. Peace.